Our Decision 2016 coverage continues now. There are 3 seats up for grabs on the New Hanover County Commission this year. 7 Republican candidates want the nomination to run for those seats in November. One of those candidates is Jim Brumit. He is joining us tonight in our studio live. Jim, I appreciate you taking the time to join us. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.
We had the State of the County address Monday night. Beth Dawson delivered it. What do you think of the state of the county, and what do you think you can add to it as a county commissioner?
Certainly. Well, going forward, we need to think about the growth of this county. It's been estimated by both the city and the county that we're going to grow by 50% over the next 25 to 30 years. And we've got a plan for that. It's not something you just sit back and it happens. We have to plan for it. The city, the county, the schools, roads, Cape Fear Public Utility Authority, which I vice chair, we all have to plan. And speaking of Cape Fear Public Utility Authority, we've already started a little bit of planning that. We ran water, we ran sewage lines underneath the Cape Fear River to go up north through 421 Corridor.
An area that a lot of people think is going to be the main development point in the next 20 years, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. And industry was not coming here until we had put in the infrastructure. Now we can say that we do have the water and we do have the wastewater return.
Okay, so in the next, if you're elected to county commission, do you have a set of goals or a list of priorities that you would want to accomplish if you're in your first 4 years, if you're given the chance?
Yes, growth is one of them. I would like to see that we add a vocational school here in the area. And the reason that I would really want a vocational school is that we need to offer an alternative for young people, young boys and young girls, rather than the traditional 4-year or 2-year. And if we could add a vocational school, then what would happen is that they would have a career that would pay good money and probably it would keep them off of the streets.
Okay. You mentioned Highway 421 and the lines being run under the Cape Fear River. When you talk about economic development here, do you think New Hanover County and leaders of New Hanover County should continue to search out companies the size of, say, GE or Corning, or do you think we're a smaller company kind of an area?
No, I think it needs to be balanced. I think we need heavy industry, we need light industry, we need technological companies, we need service industries. We need a balance because we have a workforce that we need to serve, and not everybody is for heavy industrial. So we need a balanced going forward.
How about growth? Now, you mentioned growth and talked about it as one of your priorities. We're seeing growth going on, more things going in Mayfair, Eastwood Road. They're going to, start to develop that along the way. Is New Hanover County positioned to accept that growth and be ready for that growth in the next 5 to 10 years?
It requires planning, and it requires planning from New Hanover County. It requires planning from the city, the state, roads, school, water, sewer. So it requires a lot of planning to go forward, and we've got to sit down with everybody involved and make sure that we have the right plan in place for the growth in the future.
Do you think you can bring some of that expertise onto the board?
I certainly do. I certainly do. I've been in leadership. I've been in management many years. I'm a retired Army officer. I led 2,300 troops. I've owned businesses here in Wilmington. I've managed business in Wilmington. I was responsible for the bottom line. So yes, I can bring leadership and management to the table to help develop and plan for the future.
All right, Jim, I appreciate you taking the time, carving
John.
out some time for us tonight. Jim Brumit, running as a Republican candidate for New Hanover County Commission, one of 7 candidates. And we're going to continue our live interviews next week. Derek